My name is Aisha Haynes. I am from New York City, and my parents are from Panama, Costa Rica. I'm Black Latina. It's really funny because I became hyper aware of it once I got to high school, because I went to a really, really diverse high school, and the question of where you come from becomes like, you know, a topic of conversation, and people were always surprised that I was from a quote-unquote Spanish place, and they were like, "Are you black?" And I'm like, and that made me think, I mean, the question itself sounds ridiculous, but I began to think about what it means to be black, why people didn't consider me black because I was Spanish, and then I don't know, in high school, like I said, that's when I became hyper aware, because then people begin to develop their own beliefs or perceptions about groups of people. So all my friends are West Indian, like every single last one of them. And they would make like disparaging comments about, oh, that's why Spanish people this. And I'm like, am I supposed to feel some type of way? Like, am I included in that? But I also grew up with Spanish people saying, you know, black people are this way. And, you know, I've always felt like I'm kind of playing the middle. People tend to put me in whatever side they're not talking about. So if they're talking about Spanish people, they're like, Aisha, you know you're black. I'm like, I don't know how to feel, and I don't know how to feel about it. As I'm older, I'm like, you know, that's annoying, that's stupid. How would you like when, if, you know, people said this? The question, are you black, is the quintessential, you don't understand race and ethnicity. I am black. My ethnicity is, you know, Panamanian, Costa Rican. And it's funny because now that I've gotten older, I also won't say that I'm African American, because I feel like it kind of signifies something that I'm not. Yes, I have African roots way back when, but I feel like when I think of African American, I think of like Southern blacks. So the connotation for me means something different. But I think as a society, we're still trying to figure that all out, and so people just keep getting it wrong. And I think the concept of Black Latina is still something our society's like, those are two different categories. You know, that question on all the census and whatever, it's like, are you Latino? And then they put like non-white, and you're like, wait, what's happening here? I still hesitate answering these questions. I mean, nobody surprisingly have no idea where Costa Rica is on a map. I would often get, what's a Costa Rica? Panama, because there are a lot of Panamanians in New York City, people knew of it, but they still maybe had never met a Panamanian in their life. Or a very common experience I have is if I speak Spanish before introducing myself, or have to speak Spanish somewhere, people automatically, I'm assuming I'm Panamanian. And I'm like, how did you know? Was it my accent? No, because you're dark skinned. So a dark skinned Latina has to be Panamanian. So I think it boils down to like the schemas that people have. And when people were surprised because I didn't fall into these neat little schemas of who I was supposed to be. It was funny because when I went to Spain, and this probably goes back to your first question, that's probably where I experienced racism. Because people were confused by the fact that I arrived there in an American group, and I was very American, very confused by European culture and, you know, some of the habits. But my Spanish was a little better than like my friend from Iowa, who had a very like Southern accent. So they would automatically ask me, oh, you know, why do you speak that way? Where are you from? And I'm like, oh, you know, I'm from, you know, my dad's Panamanian, my mother's Costa Rican. So they'd be like, okay, you're black, you're Hispanic, and you're American. Like, for them, that didn't jive at all. They could not understand that.